To ensure that TPP is a success, we also have to make sure that all of our people back home understand the benefits for them. That it means more trade, more good jobs, and higher incomes for people throughout the region, including the United States.
You can turn back now, or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Here are the facts. In 2005, countries across the Asia-Pacific region began working on a free trade deal known as the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. You've probably heard the buzzword free trade before, but for all the mentions this phrase receives in the news, it's often not defined or explained. Essentially, free trade describes the exchange of goods or services between countries without tariffs, quotas, duties, or other constraints. Supporters usually say that free trade allows businesses to expand into new international markets without crippling protectionist taxes. On the other hand, opponents often argue that while free trade may be good for some larger businesses, it spells bad news for the average citizen. Despite this debate, the US has successfully formed trade deals with 20 countries, and it is actively working to form more deals with new nations. The TPP is often touted as a smart step for American business, but labor advocates, environmentalists, health professionals, internet freedom activists, and even members of Congress disagree. They believe that the TPP is full of dangerous, damaging stipulations about everything from prescription drugs to pollution laws and wages, because the global public, and, in some cases, members of Congress, are only learning about these stipulations through leaked drafts. The TPP, you see, is secret. Here's where it gets crazy. Although the deal has been in the works for almost a decade as of 2014, most Americans had no idea what was in the document until a leaked draft of several sections hit the internet. The original leak, which deals with intellectual property rights, was first seen a few years back. This included text about evergreening pharmaceuticals, allowing a patent to reset each time a drug company slightly altered a product, prolonging market monopolies. The text also grants sweeping powers to rights holders, touting digital rights management and drawing a stark line on the concept of trade secrets. Officials of the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative claim that this secrecy in the agreement is a crucial part of negotiations. If other countries knew where the U.S. stood, they argue, then it would be much more difficult to have an advantageous position in the talks. However, Congress members such as Elizabeth Warren and Ron Wyden point out that large corporations are able to see the details of these negotiations even when the American public and their voted representatives are not. This fuels understandable skepticism among the American public, especially with proposals for corporations to solve disputes via international tribunal rather than by the courts of the relevant country. So is the Trans-Pacific Partnership a move toward a stronger global economy, or just another example of business and government enriching the wealthy at the expense of everyone else? And why is the TPP text restricted from the public eye but given to corporations? Is it because secrecy is a part of any high-level negotiation, or is it because there's something in the text, something they don't want you to know?
This is not the first free trade agreement that's ever happened. There was something called NAFTA beforehand, CAFTA.
Increasingly disillusioned citizens in the US and abroad are starting to believe that the war on drugs isn't about safety or combating addiction at all. You may not have heard of the Finder's Cult before, and that's probably how they like it.